Well, good evening, and it's been a really long day today. I was hoping to get around to doing this a little bit earlier, but everything's always perfect. So I thought I'd do lesson 2, or I'm going to do lesson 2, try to do them in order, these first 50 lessons. And I did an interview with Chris today, which I've been trying to upload. I think a lot of people who are familiar with the sparkly version. This is the old beat up one that we've got laying around here, but all the pages are in it. But anyone who's familiar with this will probably be interested in that interview, because if you don't know, Chris is the founder, or one of the first founders of the Thetford Foundation, and he's been involved with the Course in Miracles since 1974. I think 74, did he say? 74, yeah, I think it was 74 or 76, right back from the beginning anyway. So, it was really cool today to be able to have a chat to him and just sort of get some clarity on this version of A Course in Miracles, which is the unedited version. And we had a bit of a chat about the white edition as well, and it was all pretty cool. So, but I videoed that interview in MP4 format, and of course then when I went to try and put it on a video editor, it only is for MP3, so I've got to figure out a way to do that. If anybody who's out there listening is a bit techie and smart on these things, let me know, because the upload is 48 hours for a half-hour interview, so I'm going to try, yeah, get the idea. All right, lesson 2. All right, now lesson 2 is very similar to lesson 1. All right, applied in the same format to everything that you think you see around you and everything. Except rather than nothing I see means anything, lesson 2 is I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning it has for me. Right, so lesson 1 is nothing I see means anything. And lesson 2 is the recognition that I'm the one who's given it the meaning. Right? That situation that's pissing me off, I've given it the meaning, etc. So I'll just read it. It's only very short, just a little half a page. And lesson 3, and remember these first 3 lessons, I'll just flick back to lesson 1. Where was it? Do not attempt to something. Oh, someone will tell me anyway. But for the first 3 lessons, it was just like, take it easy, just take it easy, let yourself ease into it. And they get a bit more involved as you go along. But with each lesson, there are specific, usually at the bottom, specific little instructions about how to apply the lesson. And then also other instructions if you find yourself distressed throughout the day for any reason. Stop and tell yourself this, do that, whatever. And every lesson has a little bit of a variance in it. All right, so, and somebody actually said to me today, a young woman who's been trying to come to terms with doing this, that she found it boring and repetitive, right? And it's like, well, in a sense, learning anything new is going to be, in a way, repetitive, because as the human animal we learn through repetition, and by the same token we unlearn through repetition. The Holy Spirit uses the what would you call them, skills, or uses the particular nature of our thinking construct to rearrange or realign or reinterpret, that's probably the word I'm looking for, reinterpret our perception of the world. So that's going to be done again and again and again. All right. So in that sense, yes, it's probably going to be repetitive, but every 50 lessons or so, you'll realise that there's a theme change and everything else, but it's still always attempting to get you to bring your mind back to here. Total responsibility, wherein the choice for peace can be made again. Right. It can't be made in the past or in the future. So lesson 2, let's get into it. I've given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning it has for me. The exercises with this idea are the same as those for the first one. Begin with the things that are near to you and apply the idea to whatever your glance rests on. Then increase the range outward. Turn your head so that you include whatever it is to either side. If possible, turn around and apply the idea to what was behind you. Remain as indiscriminate as possible in selecting subjects for its application. Do not concentrate on anything in particular and do not attempt to include everything in an area or you will introduce strain. Merely glance easily and fairly quickly around you, trying to avoid selection by size, brightness, colour, material, or relative importance to you. So no favouritism. Take the subjects simply as you see them. Try to apply the exercise with equal ease to a body or a button, a fly or a floor, an arm or an apple. The sole criteria for applying the idea to anything is merely that your eyes have lighted on it. Plastic flowers. Make no attempt to include anything in particular, but be sure that nothing is specifically excluded. Right, lesson 2. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Right. And then you just simply apply it for a minute, right? So the instruction was like with the first 3 lessons anyway, for a minute in the morning and a minute in the evening, right? So for a minute, I'm going to sit here and look around and, I've given these plastic flowers all the meaning they have for me. I've given that little statue of Shiva or whatever it is all the meaning it has for me. I've given that wooden shell over there all the meaning it has for me. I've given this lamp all the meaning it has for me, etc. for a minute. Just whatever I happen to look at. I'm not looking specifically for things to choose. It's just like, I'm looking at the towel. I'm looking at that wrinkle machine. I'm sitting in the beauty room here. If you can see out that way, there's a plethora of machines and things. This is our session room, but it also doubles as my wife's beautician room, where she runs a little home business. So there's lots of things that in this room that I've given all the meaning they have, even though I don't know what they do. I don't know what they're for. That machine for wrinkles or fat or cellulite. Alright, so, and then tomorrow we'll do lesson 3. So just do it right in the morning. And like with the lessons yesterday, you don't have to understand it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. You don't even have to believe it. You can just say, fuck off. I don't believe any of that shit. Right? But you just do it. It's like if you're an alcoholic and you don't want to be an alcoholic anymore, don't drink. I know that sounds too simple to be true, but just don't drink. Right? If you want to get the results of doing these lessons, you don't have to know how to do them, how to work them out. You don't have to start. What does he mean by that? Just do it. Right? It's doing it that will make it obvious what it means. Right? And I think I had my first real experience with this workbook on lesson 12, where I went to bed one night. I was living in Byron Bay with a bunch of people and did my lesson before I went to bed. And I was going to meditational classes and things during the day. And when I woke up in the morning, my mind was completely empty. There was nothing going on. There was no blah, 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 blah. And for a moment, that was kind of scary. And then I'm like, but wait, I'm doing this workbook of A Course in Miracles, which is designed to bring me inner peace. And I'm only on lesson 12. I thought, that was fast. and then, of course, over the next few days, I filled up my mind with a load of blah, blah again, analysing things and judging everything. But that experience showed me what was possible. And today, there's nothing going on in there. Unless I'm talking. If I'm not using my thoughts or my cognitive whatever it is in there that goes on alphabet soup to come up with some words, it's empty, it's quiet. And it does that by itself because I've trained my mind to train itself through using these lessons. Right? You don't have to understand them. You don't have to accept them. You don't have to welcome them, believe them, anything. Just do it. It's like a chemistry set. You don't have to know what happens when you pour these things in and shake it up a bit. Just follow the instructions and do it, and then you'll see the volcano or whatever it is you're trying to make. But how does that... Forget it. It's only that ego mind, which is what we're trying to retrain here, that wants to know how something is possible, or why does he say nothing I see means anything? Obviously, my kids mean something. It's like, no, they don't. And you know it. They don't mean anything. We give them a meaning. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has. I make it up in my mind. You know? And a sentiment and emotions aside, it's true. Anyway, that's it for today. Simple one. Tomorrow's lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see in this room, including those machines. Give you that one for free, red hot tip. All right, I love you, and we might use this tatty old book because I keep forgetting to bring the other one up here. Love you. See you tomorrow.